What is up, internet world, and welcome back to Accelerate. We have the all-new 2024 killing it again EV9 GT-Line, and we are risking our lives here in Arizona with the snakes, the scorpions, and the etc. This is the Kia EV9, and Kia says this is the first ever mass-marketed 3-row EV SUV, non-luxury. But they're lying to you. Heated seats, steering wheel, ventilated seats, ambient lighting, 12.3-inch display with wireless Apple CarPlay. Not luxury. Not luxury. Suede? Not luxury. Back seat? Not luxury. Rearview mirror camera? Not luxury. Not luxury. So I want to answer this question right away. Is this the same size as the Telluride? And the answer is absolutely yes, but it's all electric. It's actually 10 millimeters longer. Wow. In the 2024 Kia EV9 GT-Line, this makes 379 horsepower and 516 pound-feet of torque. I will press the drive mode, get it in sport, foot on the brake, foot on the gas. Obviously there's no revving because it's all EV, and here we go. What can we get onto? Oh baby, this is quick. 4.65, and that is with 44% battery. That's important to note because of course the more battery power you have, the quicker you can get it. Now, nobody's gonna be launching this thing like I just did, but to tell you to get 4.6 seconds with 44% of battery, that gives you some confidence knowing you have enough passing power to basically pass any gas car. And speaking of gas cars, that is faster than the Cayenne S we just reviewed, which is absolutely killing it on YouTube. So thank yous for all your support. And if you haven't supported us yet, please go ahead and smash the subscribe button, because if we don't ask you guys, you never do it. To the front of the all-new Kia EV9 GT-Line. So there's 8 different exterior colors, including this new one. It's called Ocean Blue. You have this digital tiger nose grille. You've got these cool headlights that have this lightning bolt DRL. Then you have your high beams and low beams. And look at this, all flat, but there's something hidden. Right here are more LEDs that are behind this panel. You can't really see them because it's so bright outside, but you can actually pay for different designs of what these look like. 5 of them as part of the connected services. What do you guys think about that? Do you think that Kia should be charging a different lighting pattern as part of their connected services? Let us know in the comments below. Moving down from there, you have the front camera. You do have a functional vent on each side that flows air right across each wheel. And then you have these. Is this a front grille that opens up to let air flow in on an electric car? The answer is absolutely yes. Take a look at this brand new key. It actually illuminates when you press the buttons, including the button for the frunk. Yep, when I hold it down, it opens up. Now, because this is all-wheel drive, this has a smaller version. This is 50 liters, and if you got the non-all-wheel drive or the rear-wheel drive, you get 90 liters. Now moving into the side, I like how you can still see this lightning bolt design on the front headlight. There is black that carries over from the front bumper into these side fender flares. Now this has 21-inch Hankook wheels. They have this sound absorber, essentially a foam piece inside the tire to make it really, really quiet. And that is true because we've driven it. So you have 21-inch wheels. They do have a plastic hubcap, and that's cool. I mean, some people don't like that fact, but I like it because if it gets scratched, it's easily to replace. You don't have to replace or get the whole wheel sort of refinished. You can get them in 19s and 20s, depending on the model you get. Again, this is a GT line. Now let's move over to this mirror cap. It is black, piano black, and it has this really nice perforated LED in this side marker. Of course, you have the 360 camera and a lot more black up top here. This has a drag coefficient of 0.28, and that's in part with these door handles. Check them out. They're completely flush, and I touch that little thing and voila, it opens up. Now, the important part here is, does it open up in the wintertime when it's all frozen? And I asked that question to Kia, and they were like, absolutely yes, because you have two pivot points that smash, at least they tell me, out the ice to make sure that you can get into your vehicle. But let's get back into design, and that's this high glass piece. Like, look how high the glass starts. It gives it that squared out finish, including this upper roof rail. Like, it's straight, it's square. And then if you're wondering what this is right there, this piece is part of Kia's new logo, the KN, like people like to call it, and that is because they're angular right here and right here. So when you look at it from a distance, there's those little touch points that Kia's playing with design. Now remember, this is a GT line, so there's lots of piano black, including all down here, which obviously is going to get a bit scratched up depending on where you live. So let's focus back on blind spots. I can clearly see the driver from where I'm standing, and this is the furthest point. So this is where a car would be. I think you're in safe hands. Now let's whip around to the back. Look at this rear upper spoiler. It really overhangs higher than most vehicles I've seen. It's very droopy back here, and that gives it a low visual from the back. It doesn't feel very high or very minivan-ish or SUV-ish because of this low droopy rear spoiler. You also do have this camera right there. That's a rear view mirror camera that you'll see inside. You do have a hidden rear wiper, and then you have this star light design. Lots of lighting going on, lots of these little wide and skinny areas to sort of give it this like web look, if anything. Down from the glass is the new Kia logo, and nothing going on here to make it very clean except this small EV9 badge right there. And because this is a GT line, you get this extra little one on the right hand side. If you're wondering where the rear camera is, it's down here. And is there a button to open up the tailgate? Well, of course there is, but I'll get there in a second. More piano black. Of course, we're in Arizona, so it's nice and dirty. And then you have reflectors on either side to widen up its appearance. Now for the towing. So if you're wondering what the Kia EV9 tows, it tows 5,000 pounds when properly equipped. And today, it's towing my lunch. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Boom! Now, in order to open up the trunk of this EV9, you've got to follow your hands right in the center to the right of the camera, hit this rubberized button, and it opens up. I like the design of the tailgate though, this little flap there. Anyways, we didn't bring the measuring tape, so I will do what I used to do in the past and show you that I can fit inside the third row or behind the third row of the EV9. Okay, open up now. Yeah, open up. Ian.
Finally got rid of that guy. I'm out of here.
Dude, it's like 400 degrees and I'm wearing a sweat.
All right. I'll get him.
Okay, so there are 4 buttons in the back here. Both are to drop both rows of seats. The third row and the second row, right there, 4 buttons. And of course you have a plug for anything you want to plug in. This is EV, so you have a V2L where you can plug into the side of the car and basically run your toaster or your microwave. Front seat of the 2024 Kia EV9. Woo-hoo, this is all new and different. There's not much in here that resembles anything today in terms of what Kia is. So let's start off with a few things. First things first, yes, you do get Apple CarPlay on your 12.3-inch display. That is big news. If you have ever considered buying a Kia, or if you have one, one of the biggest, like, it's like, man, how can you not have wireless CarPlay? I don't want the small screen for wireless CarPlay. I don't want to buy the big one. You do, but then you got to plug in your phone. Annoying. Let's start there. Big clap, 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 Kia. Thank you. That's the first thing. The second thing is check out these screens. 12.3, 5-inch, 12.3. And you can make this HVAC control. Boom, hit this button. It moves over here. All there. So you have a big one, a little one if you want, and real buttons right there. But we'll get to it. Let's start off with the door panel. You have heated and ventilated seats, 3 increments each. You have 2 increments of heated steering wheel. And then you have a button that you hit that gives you this like air pockets that give you this massage.
Okay, let's hold up for a second, Mike. Let's talk about this ergo driver seat a little bit more. Okay, let me explain this chair. This is called an ergo driver seat, which uses air pockets to provide adjustable cushioning and support for the driver. It's basically meant to reduce driver fatigue and improve comfort on long drives. And something called Smart Posture Assist kicks in after about an hour of driving to improve your posture. You can also just have it on whenever you'd like, and there are different modes. All right, back to Mike.
Cool, and you have 2 memory seats. That's nice, caring about the other person in your relationship. But we'll stop there and stick with these seats. These are ergo seats.
Okay, sorry, one more thing. Only the driver's seat is an ergo seat. The rest are called relaxation seats.
Now they're dual colors. You have gray/black in the center and white on the side. You've got 2 choices of interiors when you buy a GT Line because that's what this is. It's just crazy to me where Kia is today, where it was before. Anyways, let's look at the foot pedals. You have plus and minus. So for gas on the right side, plus, and then brake on the left side for minus. Maybe people that drive with 2 feet need this. And moving into the dash, you have your buttons to open up your front and your rear tailgate. Then of course you have the 12.35 and 12.3 like I talked about. Heads-up display, pretty straightforward stuff in a premium product. Then you have this interesting design. Like look right here under this ambient lighting. You've got 5 buttons: home, map, search, media, favorites, and then setup. Of course I can't count because those are 6 buttons, but search is interesting. I hit the search button and then I have a keypad here and I can search for pretty much anything, including navigation, but more so information on the car itself, all by touching it right here. So that's kind of a neat feature. Then if you have your 2 vents, your volume in the center so that everybody in the front cabin can adjust the volume, your hard buttons for temperature, fan speed on both sides because it has dual climate control in the front here. Of course, you've got ones in the back which you can control through the screen. Before we move down or talk about the steering wheel, we have a rear view mirror camera and suede everywhere, including the visors. It's very padded and has suede. I don't think people will ever look at this or touch it, but we did and we're like, what? You have 2 USB-Cs. When you push this, you have your cigarette lighter. On the steering wheel, you have 2 flat bottoms on the top as well as the bottom. Feels fairly good, nice softness when I push down fairly hard on it. On the left-hand side, you have all your cruise control buttons. On the right, you have your modes, your favorites button, and of course your audio. Then you have your paddles. On the left-hand side is to apply more regenerative force, and on the right-hand side is to reduce the regenerative force by having levels right on the screen there. Then on the bottom, you have your drive modes. When you hit it, you have, of course, you have an eco, normal, and sport, and then terrain mode, you have your snow, mud, and sand. Because this is an electric vehicle, you have tons of storage in the center console, including some ambient lighting right there. You do have your 2 cup holders that you can easily make more space by sliding them out of the way. And if you want to cover it in case you are parking in a shady neighborhood, well, you can slide this right back. Here's where your auto hold button is, your hill descent, your 360 camera, and then there's a little tiny thing here, and that is for your driver profiles by putting your finger here. Now, something I want to bring up to you is when you have an Apple smartwatch or an NFC product, you can walk up to the vehicle and unlock the car simply by having your device on your wrist. Of course, you can do it by your phone, but now you can do it by your wrist because this is the latest version of technology. Then there's your wireless charger and a little bit of storage here because most of your storage is actually underneath the front right there. Now, the most important question in the back seat in any SUV is how to get in the 3rd row. This is all powered and there's 2 buttons. So it depends on what height you are. As an adult, you have a button up here, and as a child, you have one down here. So yes, your small little one can fold these seats by themselves by hitting this button on the bottom, and it does this exact move. It moves all the way forward, slides this, and then that little one can jump in the back. There we go. Ian, hit that button. Boom. It does the exact same thing as an adult because Ian is an adult. And boom, this is the space I have. Tons of headroom. Look at me. I'm 5'9" on a good day, and this is how much room I have. Now the panoramic sunroof is not panoramic, it's one panel because there are two sunroofs, one in the front and one in the middle of the vehicle. But when I'm back here, I have a lot of visibility with this big, large window. I do have a button here that I can hit and I can recline either seat. There are two seats back here. Remember, this is a 6-seater vehicle. And then I hit this button, boom, 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 boom. It's a 6-seater vehicle when you get the higher trims. Of course, if you get the base vehicle, you can get a 7-passenger. Now there's USB-C there and a cup holder here, a little spot for a big snack, and then a smaller spot for a smaller snack. And everything else, yeah, seems good. And this is the same on both sides. Now moving back into the second row, I hit this button and it goes back to the position that it was in. So jumping into the second row, I close this door. I have 3 increments of heated seats and 3 increments of cooled seats. I have your little sunshade there, a hand thing to hold me together. And then I have this because it's super comfortable. Again, this is an ergo seat, so I can have this leg rest come up so I can relax back like business class. And speaking of business class, look at this. I have a tray. How cool is that? With storage inside this little tray. 2 cup holders. If you're wondering where the USB-Cs are, they're hiding in the driver and passenger seat there for the people in the second row. And I do have this panel here for your HVAC. HVAC controls here. Your vents are up in the ceiling. They're not here. Up in the ceiling for the second row and the third row. Now this has a 99.8 kilowatt battery. Obviously it makes that 379 horsepower, but what about the lower models? What kind of battery do you get in that? Well, you get a 76.1 kilowatt battery and it makes 215 horsepower, but it's just rear wheel drive. But forget all that. It is the quietness in here and the stability of the whole platform together. Now this is the second Kia based on this new E-GMP platform, and it's got this 4th generation battery and it's all that fun stuff. Sounds all amazing, but it's really the driver feel, because that's what this is all about. How does the driver feel and what do they hear? So it's very quiet. This is like a noisy asphalt because we're in the desert basically. But it's the solidness of the chassis that I like. How this handles is excellent. But how about the sand? And speaking of gravel, it's even more engaging this type of terrain because it lets you shift the body weight from side to side because it slides. This rear wheel drive bias is amazing. I love it. On the brakes, this feels like I'm driving on actual asphalt. And I have 21s on this. This is amazing. Listen to this side by side. This would be very loud in anything else, but it's solid and it feels like I'm driving a car. Ian's holding for dear life. Ian's holding on for dear life. This is a great, oh my God. I can't believe this is an SUV. And that is because the battery is right on the bottom. All the weight has a very low center of gravity. And it allows this great feel. Steering is excellent. Kia's always been really, really good on steering field. Right from when we first started the channel and got our first Kia, I said, man, the steering and the handling of Kias are amazing for the price point especially. They've really stepped up the insulation on their EV9. And that is because it's their flagship SUV and they want to make sure that they make it the best they can possibly, so they're throwing anything at it. And that's what this is. It's quiet. This would be very loud, as I said, in any other SUV, but in this, it's just, listen. I won't show you how fast I'm going, but this should be a lot louder than what you're hearing right here. Now, all this was done in sport mode. So there's eco, normal, and sport. This is not even talking about the terrain modes, where in Canada we get 2 extra ones. So I'll hit a button and show you. You get snow, mud, and sand. In Canada, we get the extra mud and sand, which is weird because we have to come to Arizona to get sand. Now, the stability program really holds me in well here. So even if you have slippery conditions, it does just stay very planted and feels secure when I'm driving it. And this is real life test here. I mean, Ian's sweating bullets right now as I'm driving. It's really premium. And that's what That's what Kia says they're not, which is a complete lie. Now, depending on what EV9 you buy, you get up to 489 kilometers worth of range. Now, obviously, I assume that to be the rear-wheel drive. That's pretty straightforward stuff. But if you buy this, the all-wheel drive version, now this is the GT-Line, but if you buy the all-wheel drive version, you get about 430 kilometers or so. But it has a cool little feature. It allows it to decouple the front. So the front, drivetrain electric motors actually stop working and only become rear-wheel drive when you're driving straight on the highway to save up to 8% worth of fuel. Now, I expect Kia to sell a ton of these things for a lot of reasons. Besides all the creature comforts, which are very premium and obviously joking about it in the video, the visibility is excellent for something like this. Like when I look back in the third row, I can totally see all around me. This is not, I don't feel hampered or closed off or big blind spot stuff. No, it's just good. And again, it's very quiet in here. It handles very well. The steering is excellent. These seats are very comfortable, and we've been driving this for like almost 2.5 hours now, and I don't feel any sort of back discomfort whatsoever. Everything's in the right spot. I got my wireless charging here, all the cups here. You've got these great screens, 12.3, 5, and 12.3 again, and you have these buttons, the tactile buzz is still left. You've got all your chargers, you've got flat floors, you've got storage, you've got even these pedals that say plus and minus. If you have watched our channel before, you know that I'm a huge believer in Kia's keeping you in your lane system. You can basically fall asleep and this thing will keep you right dead center. It doesn't keep you on the left or the right, it's right in the middle. So out here in Arizona, of course, it's windy. Like, look at it right now. It's turning all from you, which is amazing. That was really windy. But normally it's excellent. Jokes aside, it is excellent. It keeps you in your lane perfectly. Now, when you have the cruise control on and you indicate to go left or right on the highway, it'll actually move lanes for you without you doing absolutely anything. It doesn't bug you all the time to put your hands on the wheel. Now, of course, you have to, but it's not irritating, and that's what I do appreciate about it. Thanks, Kia. That's it for us in Arizona and my sweater. I would never thought that you would ever wear a sweater in Arizona, but here we are with the EV9. If you guys like this video or any video we've ever produced or created, please let us know in the comments below. And as always, thanks for watching.